All right. Kell Brooke reveals that Eddie Hearn had advised him to duck Errol Spence Jr. and he wishes he would have taken that advice, and talks about what he's going to be doing in boxing moving forward. But man, let's talk about Kell Brooke and the Errol Spence Jr. fight and what Kell Brooke had to say in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, I want to say special thank you to the Patreons, to the channel members. You can click right down there to join the channel. If you're a member of the LDBC, it'd be greatly appreciated. It helps us identify you also and support the cause of the channel. And also, thank you to everybody in the live streams that come by and check out the live streams every day, and Sunday morning for OG Boxing Talk, Sunday 8 a.m. with myself, Blood Boxing, KQKC Boxing, Trap House Boxing, and my man Curtis Anderson, the boxing historian. Let's get into this. All right, y'all remember Errol Spence Jr. the Truth. Man, this was a big old argument going on between. This is the first time I ever experienced a big debate between American fans and UK fans on this channel. Of course, there had been ones in the past, but on my channel, when I originally started my channel, was around the time of the Kell Brooke versus Errol Spence Jr. fight and all the lead up going on to the Errol Spence fight. And I was telling people from the UK, Errol Spence Jr. is about to end Kell Brooke's career. I'm watching the Errol Spence Jr. fights, watching the Kell Brooke fights, and I was like, nah, he's going to buzzsaw this dude, and Kell Brooke's going to get hurt. And what happened? Errol Spence Jr. buzzsawed him, and Kell Brooke got hurt. But Kell Brooke gave an interview and was transcribed on Seconds Out, and he gave some of the background stories to that fight. And I think it's important for what Kell Brooke should do going forward. He says that he wished that he had not taken the fight with Errol Spence Jr. That he had been offered 6 figures to not take the fight with Errol Spence, or to rather to give up his belt. But he said, I worked too hard to get the belt. With Devin Alexander pulling out of the fight when Kell Brooke was his mandatory. So when he got his hold of that belt, he was not going to give that belt up. But that he made the mistake, which is, the Roy Jones mistake, that you moved up in weight, put on a lot of muscle, then got injured against Gennady Golovkin. He came back down, had to get rid of that muscle, also extra weight that he had because when Gennady Golovkin broke his eye socket, that he was out, not able to work out for a while. So he got in there depleted against Errol Spence Jr., and Errol Spence Jr. beat him up. But of course we know, according to Kell Brooke, that if Kell Brooke had been healthy, if he had not gone through all that, then the real Kell Brooke would have handled Errol Spence Jr. because this is Kell Brooke speaking, because Kell Brooke had an easier time with Shawn Porter than Errol Spence Jr. did. So, yeah, first of all, if was a fifth, we would all be drunk. That's what I think, man. Excuses are tools of incompetence. Dog, it doesn't matter what happened. You got beat up. And you could have been perfectly healthy and still got beaten up. Errol Spence Jr. is a better fighter than Kell Brooke. Period. So, hey, man. It is what it is. But yeah, you should have probably listened to Eddie Hearn when Eddie Hearn told you that, yeah, man, don't take this fight, or you should think about giving up the belt. I don't want to say for sure that what Kell Brooke meant was that Eddie Hearn said give up the belt and don't fight Errol Spence, or whether it was before that Eddie Hearn said give up the belt. But since the whole conversation was pretty much about the Errol Spence Jr. fight, then I think it's reasonable to believe that Eddie was like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't take this fight. And that gives you insight into, I believe, the fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. Hey Anthony, you probably should not take this fight. hey, yeah, I know you want to fight him. I know he offered $50 million, but look, man, you might not want to take this fight. Remember what happened to Kell Brooke? I told Kell, you should not fight Errol Spence Jr. You went on ahead and fought Errol Spence Jr. And look at him now. He's nowhere near the top. He's not nowhere near the top guy, even in Matchroom anymore. So much so that he declined so much so that Eddie Hearn can't even get him a fight with Amir Khan. That's the biggest shame of Kell Brooke. He couldn't even get a fight with Amir Khan. That's the most natural fight that could have been made for Kell Brooke. It probably could have been a very big money fight in the UK. Definitely along the side of some of these, from what I can see. I'm not in the UK. Along the same lines as this is a Derek Chisora fight with a Dillian White Derek Chisora fight or something like that. If you got Kell Brooke and you got Amir Khan, both from the UK, both world champions or even both ex-champions, that they can make that fight. But for some reason, Eddie Hearn can't get that fight made. Amir Khan doesn't want that fight. But what's Kell Brooke going to do now? If Kell Brooke doesn't retire, I mean, I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. Because it doesn't seem like Eddie Hearn is dealing very well right now with the PBC. And the natural weight class for Kell Brooke right now is owned by PBC fighters. And that's 154 pounds. Kell Brooke, if he can't get down to 147 pounds, maybe he can make 154. But 154 means a fight with Jermell Charlo, or it means a fight with Tony Harrison, or it means a fight with J-Rock, or it means a fight with Jarrett Hurd. Those are the top guys at 154 pounds. What's he going to do with them besides get both eye sockets broken? It's just, to me, the situation with Kell Brooke is, man, I don't want to say it's sad, but he was a guy that I really liked. I thought that he was, and honestly, man, I think he was the best welterweight for a couple years, man. After he beat Sean Porter, he was a champion, and Keith Thurman, I believe Keith Thurman held a belt, and there might have been somebody else up in there that had one of the belts as well. And maybe Manny Pacquiao held the WBO belt. But at the time that he beat Sean Porter for the IBF belt, I thought Kell Brooke might be one of the best of the 147 pounders. But just not able, but because he went up there and went for Gennady Golovkin, and 2 weight classes up. And I guess he could say the same thing about Errol Spence as he said about Gennady Golovkin. You know, hey man, maybe if I was 6'2" and 15 pounds bigger, I would have been able to beat Kell. I would have been able to beat Gennady Golovkin. But instead, you're not, and you get your eyesight, you get stopped because your eye socket gets broken. The first of 2 knockouts that he suffered. And it's just, the guy's career is never going to be the same unless he gets some serious rehabilitation program going on. Now, I think I know what that rehabilitation plan is, but I doubt very much if he'd actually execute on that. Fight for the PBC. They've done this. They are rebuilding other guys' career. They're rebuilding the career of Guillermo Rigondeaux. Guillermo Rigondeaux was in a situation pretty much just like Kell Brooke was in, where Kell Brooke moved up. He's in a lot worse situation than Kell Brooke was, because at least Kell Brooke could get fights. The way that what was happening to Guillermo Rigondeaux was almost a complete blackball for Guillermo Rigondeaux. But Guillermo Rigondeaux's back now on the path to fighting for a title. I think he's moving back down to 118, and he's fighting for the WBA regular championship at 118 pounds. So he's setting himself up to get another title shot. His fight against Ceja looks a lot better now because he wound up knocking out Ceja. But when Ceja fought Brandon Figueroa, man, he gave Brandon Figueroa, I'm not sure, did they fight to a draw? Or maybe Brandon Figueroa might have just pulled that out. But it was a very, very close, tough fight, which made Guillermo Rigondeaux's knockout win over Ceja look that much better. So now he's in a situation where Guillermo Rigondeaux might be able to get a rematch with Nonito Donaire. He might be able to get a fight with Monster Inoue. He might be able to get a fight with Obali or any of these other guys at 118 pounds because he switched to a promoter that is going to give him an opportunity to get those fights. Just doesn't seem like that's the case over there in Matchroom when he can't even get a fight with Kell. But let me know what you think in the comment section. I thought that was funny that Eddie Hearn didn't want him to take that fight, and hindsight is 2020 though, buddy. Hindsight is 2020. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.